So let's talk about this really powerful idea. What if our success in life has less to do with how smart we are and way more to do with something else? We're talking about emotional intelligence.
I mean, it's a real head-scratcher, right? We've all seen it. Someone with a genius-level IQ who just aces every test, and then they do something so irrational, so self-destructive, it just makes no sense. Well, that question is really the key to this whole thing.
And that brings us right to our first section, when smart is dumb. We're going to look at those moments when all that brain power just completely fails.
Okay, get this. There's a star student, Jason H., and his entire world revolves around getting into Harvard. So when his physics teacher gives him a B, just an 80 on a quiz, he doesn't just get mad. He brings a knife to school and actually stabs his teacher. All that academic brilliance was just completely short-circuited by one overwhelming emotion.
And then there's this. I mean, this is just an absolutely heartbreaking tragedy. A father hears noises in his house at night. He thinks his daughter is staying over at a friend's. So terrified, he grabs his gun to check it out. His daughter jumps out of a closet to play a prank, yelling, "Boo!" And his fear just took over. He fired. In that one split second, his ability to think didn't stand a chance against what he was feeling.
And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? These stories aren't just bizarre one-offs. They are extreme examples of a battle that's going on inside all of us all the time. The battle between our thinking mind and our feeling heart.
So how do we make sense of this? What's going on here? Well, the answer is that we don't just have one mind. We have two. So in this section, let's meet your emotional brain. So here's the big idea. We're all operating with two separate minds. There's the rational mind, the one we all know. It thinks, it reflects, it makes sense of things. But then there's the emotional mind. And it's a totally different system. It's fast, it's powerful, and it is so impulsive. Most of the time, they work in harmony, but when our passions flare up, that balance can get thrown way off. And you can really see just how different they are when you put them side by side like this. The rational mind is slow, it's logical, it's deliberate. The emotional mind, it is lightning fast and automatic. It's our ancient survival system, built to make split-second decisions when there's absolutely no time to stop and think. And that's what leads to this thing called an emotional hijacking. This is the moment when the emotional mind basically declares a state of emergency. It just floods the system and completely takes over the rational mind. This is exactly what happened to that student and that father. Their emotional minds grabbed the controls, and the consequences were absolutely devastating. Okay, so we've seen the dangers when things go wrong, but what about the upside? This brings us to our third section, and this is where it gets really fascinating. Why our ability to manage this inner world, our emotional intelligence, or EQ, is such a powerful predictor of success. You know, for as long as any of us can remember, we've put IQ on this huge pedestal. SAT scores, grades, we use them to sort people, thinking it tells us who's going to make it. But here's one of psychology's little secrets. It's not a very good predictor at all. A high IQ is absolutely no guarantee of wealth or happiness or success in life. In fact, when researchers followed 450 boys for decades, they found something kind of shocking. Skills like being able to handle frustration or just get along with other people were way better predictors of success than their IQ scores. I mean, look at this last point. The long-term unemployment rate for men with low IQs was the exact same as for men with high IQs. How about that? And this isn't just about avoiding failure. It's about reaching the top. Take this study at MetLife Insurance. Selling insurance is tough. You face constant rejection. They were using all the standard tests to hire people, but 3/4 of their new hires were quitting within 3 years. So they decided to try something different. They started testing for optimism, a key emotional skill. And the results? They were just staggering. The optimists didn't just stay in the job longer, they outsold their pessimistic coworkers by a massive 37% in their first 2 years. I mean, just look at this chart. It really says it all. The difference here isn't small, it's huge. In a high-pressure job, the ability to manage your own emotions, to stay hopeful when you get knocked down, that was the single biggest key to success. It mattered way more than anything those traditional tests were measuring. So if EQ is so darn important, what even is it? Well, that's what we're breaking down next. And here's the really good news. Emotional intelligence isn't some magical trait you're either born with or you're not. It's a set of 5 core skills that anyone can learn. everything, and I mean everything, starts right here with self-awareness. It is the absolute cornerstone of the whole thing. It's the ability to recognize a feeling at the moment it's happening. That's the difference between being a slave to your emotions and actually having a choice. And there's this fantastic old Zen story that just nails this idea. So, a fierce, proud samurai stomps up to his Zen master and demands, "Old man, explain heaven and hell to me." The master looks up at this giant warrior and says, with total disdain, "You're just a clumsy fool. I'm not wasting my time with you." Well, the samurai is enraged. This is the ultimate insult. He pulls out his sword, ready to cut the monk down, and just as the blade is high in the air, the monk looks at him, totally calm, and says, "That is hell."
And in that 1 second, it clicks. The samurai sees it. He sees the blind rage that has complete control of him. He's startled into this moment of pure self-awareness. He takes a breath, the anger fades, and he puts his sword away and bows. And the monk says, "And that is heaven." See, heaven and hell weren't places. They were states of mind. And the only difference was his awareness of his own feelings. That incredible story is all about step 1, self-awareness. And once you have that foundation, you can build all the other skills on top of it. Self-regulation is handling those feelings. Motivation is using them to push yourself. Empathy is seeing those feelings in other people. And social skill is putting it all together to manage your relationships. This is the roadmap. Which brings us to our final section, the master aptitude. The idea here is that emotional intelligence isn't just another skill you can add to your resume. It's something much, much more fundamental than that. Because at the end of the day, this one line says it all. All the book smarts, all the technical skill in the world, it can all be wiped out in an instant when your emotions take over. Emotional intelligence is what allows us to actually use our other gifts, especially when the pressure is on. It's the skill that makes all the other skills work. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. When you look back on your own life, your successes, your failures, your proudest moments, your biggest regrets, which one has really mattered more? What you know, or how you manage what you feel?